Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Imperial Guard 8th edition tactics video. Today we are continuing through our unit reviews. We've finished Astra Militarum, the main forces, and now we're kind of onto the sub-factions. So we've covered the Officio Prefectus, which has got all the commissars in, and now we're onto another sub-faction, the Militarum Tempestus. To you old school players out there, these guys are the old stormtroopers, the glory boys of days gone by. Now, or should I say of codexes gone by. Now, I've had a lot of comments, people saying, please do Scions, skip ahead and do Scions. And I haven't, for a very good reason. And that reason was I consulted my contacts within the Inquisition, players high up in the Warhammer 40k community. And they said, hold off on anything Scion related because an FAQ will be coming, which will change things significantly. And lo and behold, in the last couple of days, we have had an FAQ, which has changed things significantly. So for all you guys that were pestering me saying, do Scions next, now you know why I wasn't doing it. I had orders from Inquisitors themselves saying, hang off. But now the FAQ is here. So we can review the Militarum Tempestus with full authority and clarity. So let's take a look at the first units, which are going to be the Tempesta Prime and the Command Squads. And then in the next episode we'll be looking at the Scions and the Torx Prime. But for now let's focus on the Prime and the Command Squads. So of course, like all Imperial Guard Command Squads, these used to be one unit. You used to buy a command squad that came with an officer and 4 guys. And now they've been separated out. And I must say the Tempesta Prime has really had a boost. A big boost. So he's still weapon skill 3 plus ballistic skill 3 plus. Strength 3, toughness 3. But now he has 4 wounds. 3 attacks and leadership 8 and a 4 plus save. And he comes with hotshot, las pistol, frag and crack grenades. And you get all this tasty stuff for a mere 40 points. That's actually really decent. Now, having 4 wounds on a Tempesta Prime, that is double what he used to have. That is senior officer level stats. Now, he is technically 10 points more than a senior officer, but he has that extra save. He comes with frag and crack grenades, and some of his special rules and war gear options are very impressive. Now, I should mention he is an HQ choice. I haven't mentioned that already. He is an HQ choice. So you can have now Tempesta Primes leading your Astra Militarum if you want, because he has one of the keywords Astra Militarum. So anyway, war gear options. He may take a chainsword for free, or one item from the Astra Militarum melee weapon list. This model may replace its hotshot las pistol with a Tempestus command rod, a bolt pistol, or a plasma pistol. So you're always going to say he may take a chainsword because the chainsword is free. So when you think about it, he's got 4 attack space, which is great. You might, with his new found 4 wounds, you may consider taking a power weapon on him. I know in the past a lot of players were big fans of giving the Tempesta Primes power mauls. Considering power mauls are so cheap now, you know, they're still like, what, 4 points? Considering power mauls are so cheap, that will not, you know, screw you over. You've actually, for all of you that love taking power mauls before, just keep taking them. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day, they're only 4 points. However, if you're on a very tight budget, just take the freebie chainsword. Okay. Now, the important one to look at here is the Tempestus command rod, because we know what bolt pistols do. We know what plasma pistols do. What does the Tempestus command rod do? Well, it's actually explained in his abilities section. So he has the voice of command, so he can issue an order. But he also has Tempestus command rod. A model with a Tempestus command rod may use the voice of command ability twice in each of your turns. Resolve the effects of the first order before issuing the second order. So essentially, if you swap out that hotshot las pistol, which you had to pay 1 point for, and instead take a Tempestus command rod, you become as good as a senior officer. Yet, you're so much cheaper. Well, so much better, I should say. The Tempestus command rod is 0 points, guys, so it's free, basically. You're not really ever going to be that bothered about using a hotshot las pistol at the end of the day because it's only got 6-inch range. So, you know, Tempestus primes, for 10 points more, you get extra save, crack grenades, and the ability to take aerial drops, which is this other ability. And basically, during deployment, you can set up this model in high altitude transport ready to deploy via grav shoot. Instead of placing it on the battlefield at the end of any movement phase, the model can make an aerial drop set up anywhere on the battlefield that is more than 9 inches away from enemy models. So basically, you can deep strike. So what you're paying for here with the Tempestus Prime is the ability to have 4+ save and to deep strike, which is very, very important. Now, before the FAQ was released, you could take the next unit. Well, I'm going to talk about Militarum Tempestus Command Squads. You could take them willy-nilly, and the FAQ has changed that. So let's take a look at the Militarum Tempestus Command Squad. It's an elite choice now. So as we said, this has been split into two. So the officers have been made an NHQ, and the Tempestus Command Squad has been made an elite choice. It's 4 scions, and each scion is armed with a hotshot lasgun, frag and crack grenades. They have stats that you would expect, so they've got weapon skill 4+, but ballistic skill 3+. They're only leadership 6 now, which is interesting, and a 4+ save. Now, the usual things apply here for Tempestus Command Squads. One may take a Voxcaster, one may take a med pack, one may take a platoon standard, or up to 4 models may replace their weapons with a flamer, a hotshot lasgun, with a flamer, a melter gun, a plasma gun, a grenade launcher, or a hotshot volley gun. So the usual shtick, nothing changed there. Let's take a look at some of these weapons. So we know what the flamer does. That's assault D6, strength 4. Melter gun, 12 inches, assault 1, strength 8, AP minus 4, D6 damage if you're within half range. 2d6 pick the highest. Plasma gun, we know what that does. We've got rapid fire 1, you've got standard and supercharge. But the one to really look at here, the real winner that I would say, is the hotshot volley gun. The hotshot volley gun changed from being a salvo weapon, I believe there are no salvo weapons anymore, to heavy 4. Now it's retained its strength 4, which is great, and it's AP minus 2, damage 1. So when you drop down with these guys, if you had 4 in a squad, you're now, in the old rules, you would drop down, you'd only be able to do 8 shots. Now you're dropping down, and you get to fire 16 shots if you have 4 hotshot volley guns. That is intense. Now, Tempestus Scions, Militarum Tempestus do not have their own orders anymore, so you can't twin link your guns. But you can reroll 1s to hit. You can use take aim and reroll 1s to hit. So that's pretty good, is all I can say. Because 16 shots rerolling 1s to hit is probably better, statistically wise. One of you guys have to tell me. Is probably better than 8 shots rerolling hits. Probably. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, these guys, they've got aerial drop as well, so they can deep strike. Platoon standard, bit of a waste of time. Militarum Tempestus units within 6 inches of the platoon standard may add 1 to their leadership. It's okay. Medipack, we saw that. You can try and hit, let's just read the full thing. At the end of any of your movement phase, the model with the medipack can attempt to heal a single model. Select a friendly Astra Militarum infantry unit within 3 inches of roll a d6, and a 4+1 model in the unit recovers a wound lost earlier in the battle. If the unit has a wound characteristic of 1, one model slain earlier in the battle is returned to the unit. A unit can only be targeted with this ability once each turn. Voxcaster, same as usual. You're never going to want the Medipack, you're never going to want the Voxcaster, you're never going to want the Platoon Standard. Because Scions, if they get targeted, there's not going to be enough of them left to take a morale check. That's what we've got to remember, guys, with Scions. You know, there's never ever going to be enough of them left for it to be a problem. If they get targeted, they just die so quickly. Now, what did the FAQ change? That's the big thing here. So, when Militarum Tempestus first hit the shelves, they actually went, in 8th edition, they went from being considered the worst codex, the worst faction in 40k, to the most powerful. Overnight, they were considered the most powerful. Because people worked out that if you took a Tempestus command squad and gave it 4 plasma guns, that only cost 64 points. And then you could take the Vanguard detachment from the main book. So you could take 6 of these squads. And all you had to do was take 6 squads and 1 Tempestus Prime. And you had 24 plasma guns. Now you didn't even care, because plasma guns are so cheap. That's what you've got to remember, because these guys fall under the Action Militarum, which means their plasma guns are only 7 points per model. That meant that you could spam 12, 18 of these squads. It wasn't hard. I mean, taking 10 of these squads was only 640 points. It was possible in a 1500 point game to take 20 Militarum Tempestus command squads, all armed with plasma and with 4 officers backing them up. Now, you'd have to deploy some on the field, but you could still deep strike in a lot of these guys. These guys were the ultimate Alpha Strike army. And combine that with the Torx Prime, which we'll talk about next time, which is the best transport in 40k. Militarum Tempestus went to literally the best faction overnight. They were almost unbeatable. People were going out there and buying 5, 10, start collecting box sets, because that's all you needed. And a go-to tactic was quite simply to take 10 Torx Primes and then 10 Militarum command squads and a couple of officers. That was the go-to tactic, and it was, you know, it was destroying people. It was very, very powerful. So what's changed? The FAQ has come in and has specifically stated in the first page, for matched play only, you've got to remember this is for matched play only. If you are playing a match play game, a Battleforged army can include a maximum of 1 regiment command squad in a detachment for each regiment officer in that detachment. Similarly, if you are playing a match play game, a Battleforged army can include a maximum of 1 Militarum Tempestus command squad in a detachment for each Tempestus Prime in a detachment. So now, guys, you can't command squad spam. Alright? You can't. However, I would still argue that Militarum Tempestus are the most powerful army out there. Okay? They've been nerfed, but they're still really powerful. Think of it this way, guys. Look at a battalion detachment. You can take up to 3 troop choices and up to 6 elite choices. And you can also take 3. Let me just look at this. I'm trying to think of how you do it. But basically, it's still perfectly possible to spam command squads, because instead what you do is you take lots of 5-man... You take enough 5-man... how do you do it? I'm trying to think. What you would do is you would take 2 battalions. This is how you do it. Okay, so you do it. If you still want to spam that kind of army, you take 2 battalions, and you take 3 Tempestus Primes in each battalion, 3 Tempestus Scion squads in each battalion, and 3 Tempestus Command squads in each battalion. You give each Tempestus Prime Rod of Command, so you can order 2 units a turn, and then you give the Tempestus Command squad 4 plasma guns, and you give the Tempestus Scion squad 2 plasma guns and a plasma pistol, and you're pretty much back to where you were. You've just lost 1 plasma gun, and 1 plasma gun has been swapped to a plasma pistol, basically. and you can use the officer, you can deep strike that all in, and you can use the officer to order take aim on both squads, and they can just unload 6 overcharging plasma guns and 1 overcharging plasma pistol, so basically 7 overcharging plasma guns a turn in rapid fire range. That's 13 plasma gun shots overcharged each. So they're still really, really powerful, guys. It has basically just been made harder to spam Tempestus command squads, but it is still possible. So, a quick summary, guys. Tempestus primes are awesome. They are tough as nails, with 4 wounds and a 4+ save. They are as good as a company commander, but can deep strike in. Militarum Tempestus command squads are incredibly powerful. Plasma spam it should be your go-to tactic. Don't bother with the Medipack, don't bother with the Voxcaster, don't bother with Platoon Standard. You have to take a officer for each command squad, but with cunning tactics and clever use, it is still perfectly possible to plasma spam your enemies to death. So there you go, guys. Some of you may be asking, last thing I want to say, why not Melter in your command squads? That's a good point, but considering you'll be overcharging plasma guns, which they'll be getting 2 shots each and doing 2 damage per shot, that's actually better than taking a Melter gun, because when you deep strike in, you're always going to be outside of Melter range, which is 6 inches. You're going to be in range, which is 12 inches, but you're not going to be within that sweet 2d6, pick the highest range. So if you want to carry out an alpha strike, it's generally best to go with plasma spam. I would say in the old system, 7th edition, you wanted maybe more melter guns than plasma guns. Now you want more plasma guns than melter guns. At the very least, you want an equal split. For every plasma gun you want, for every melter gun you should be taking a plasma gun. I think you could easily get away with, for every melter gun, take 2 plasma guns. And if you really wanted to be cheesy and spammy, just take all plasma guns. But do not forget about your hotshot volley gun, guys. Okay? Hotshot volley guns, I think, used to be taken just for rule of cool, and I don't think they were actually very, taken because they were really good. Hotshot volley gun nows are really, really deadly, guys. Really powerful. That AP -2 is something we're going to explore in more depth in the next edition when we look at Tempestus Scions, okay? That AP -2 is really good. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Tell me your experiences with Scions. Tell me if there's anything that I've missed that you'd like me to cover in part 2. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.